Hi everyone, this is John Wen. Today is July 29th, 2018, and today we're gonna continue to talk about the workflow executor. And from last 2 weeks, we were talking about using the workflow executor to create the machine learning algorithm such as a linear algorithm and linear regression, multivariable regression, and SVM. And today we're gonna start with a very simple example, that is to read the files from a text file and parse the string to a JSON object. And we're gonna store the JSON from the string into a hash map, a linked hash map. And firstly, let us to review a little bit about the hash map. A hash map is a kind of implementation of the map data structure in Java. And in a map, we know that it's a kind of value pair data structure. And in the hash map, and we're gonna hash the key value to a fixed length index through hashcode method, and then we store it in the hash table. So here is a very simple example of each block in a hash map, and let's call it a node, and it will contain the hash number and the key and the value, and also it will have a pointer to the next block. This case is because we always have a very long hash value, and we will determine which block, the index of which block we're gonna store the value. And we're gonna module the hash by the n-1. So the remain value will determine where the block will be stored in a table. And if many times there are multiple blocks result into the same index, so we're gonna make them as a linked array. And so that is why we use linked list for the most cases. So this is a roughly overview about the hash map, and we're gonna store the JSON object. And also today we're gonna start to use the debugger class and also a logger class, and to help us to debug in our program. So firstly, let us to take a look at the debugger class. Actually, it is new instance of logger file. So let's start to take a look at the logger file. And in a logger file, we can define different levels we want to keep the logs, and then write into a log file. And basically, if we want to log null, and we're gonna set the level to -1. If we want to log all the things, and we're gonna log 100. And we're gonna use a final in order to avoid others to change the value. So here, basically in this file, we besides set a level, and I added a new method called the drawbreaks, because I realized that every time they have the uniform format, and it's hard to tell the new section that I wrong maybe from this time or previously. So, and also the main thing is to append the new message onto the file, the output file. So this is a method of append. And let's go back to the debugger. We just said that we are able to set levels to determine what kind of message we want to keep in the log file. And here we define several methods to check or to debug our code, like the log error message, and we set the level as 2, and also log object value we set the if it is null we set the level as 0, else we set a 3. 0 means very severe or a big problem, but the higher number of the level, it means it will less severe. The problem is just like we just print out the result, or we just print out the object, and it doesn't affect the program at all or too much. So we also have the log false condition, and we have level 1, and also log successful message and level 3, because it's very less severe problem. And besides that, we have a log test task. And remember, from previous time we have many class and as tasks, and we can just name their task name, and then to call the function to call the class or new instance, use a class.for name and to put the task name. So this method help us to mimic or to take the task name and then to try to have an input file and output file, and then to do the test. So this will be very helpful to help us to debug. So this is an overall overview of the debugger class. So let's get back to main and start the code. So today it's a very simple program that is to read a string from the file and then parse it to a JSON object and put into the hash map data structure. So let's start. Because we're gonna use a data debugger, data view debugger. So firstly, I added a draw break line method, and then we just use this class, just new a class and pass this file name onto the class, and then new the instance of bf. So let's take a look at this class. And basically, in the function constructor, we pass a file name and we get a new file with the file name or the file path. And we also have few other methods like get math vector and get matrix, and basically we use a similar method before in previous video. And we also have the get hash map method, get string. So let's go back. So we pass this to the new instance of bf, and then we call the bf.toString. And basically this is to read the file, and you then use a string builder and to get the string print out. And so let's take a look at here. In the getString method, we have a string builder. We new string builder, and then to read the lines and every lines, and then to append into the string builder. So basically, let's go back, and basically we'll get all the strings and with the string builder, and then to parse it to a JSON parser class and new instance as P. So let's take a look at this JSON parser class. So in this class we have a function constructor, and to accept the string as the input, and just as we see, and we firstly define the position as -1, and we get next char method. I think we talked this before, and basically we'll check the next position as long as it is not larger than the length of the string, and we will return the next string, or return just -1. And we also have other method like look ahead, it. This function we use many times in previous videos. And we also have parse string and parse JSON object method. I think we will use this very soon. So let's go back. So here, yeah, we just said that we knew this instance of class, and then we call the parse JSON object, and we will get a type of JSON object. And basically, let's take a look at this JSON object. So this is extend the linked-hashmap. So it is it's a child class of the linked-hashmap. So basically, we will get a type of the linked-hashmap with the object value. So let's go into this parse JSON object function and take a look what's going on there. So basically we'll check firstly if there is a parenthesis, and if it is not, and we will alert that the JSON object should start with a parenthesis. And we will check if there's a parenthesis. We will check to the parse string, and then to put the value to the key. So let's take a look at the parse string method. And in this method, basically we will check a double quote at the beginning, and also a double quote at the end of the string. And that means we get because in the JSON format, for all the key values, we will have a double quotes before and after the string. So basically, for the key, it's very simple. We will check the double quotes, and then we will get the keys, and then we will after the key, and we will check if we can get a colon. That means if we got a colon, and that means we've already finished the parser, the key value, and then we will get the real value of the key. So after we check, we found the colon, and we will get the JSON parse JSON value. So let's take a look at this method. So here we have more kind of situations or cases. Firstly, we want to check if its value is a string, and if it starts with a double quote, it will be a string, and if it is a parenthesis, it will be an object, and if it is start with a square brackets, it will be an array, and otherwise it will be a invalid JSON format. So this will be more cases than the value key for the key situation. For the value, we have more situations to check. So yeah, here you can see that we will pass a string if it is a double quotes. If it is a parenthesis, we will parse JSON object. If it is a square brackets, we will pass a JSON value array. Otherwise, we will log it into the debugger, the debugger class, and we will log it into the output file. So yeah, after this, and we will put the key and value into the object, and then we will, if we check the comma, and we will know this is the end of the previous key value pair, and we will start another one, and finally we will get a parenthesis at the end, and so it will indicate the end of the object. And finally, we're gonna output the object and print it out. So this is a JSON parser, and let's go back to the main. And yeah, after we get object, we're gonna print it out from the console, and we also log it out in the log file. Use a method parse file to JSON. We wrote a new method and to show the object to the in the output file. So let's take a look and run this program. So we can see we get a lot of things happens here because we have many things console log or just log from to the output file. And let's take a look at the output file. So it's called dataview.log, and here it is. So from the break line, start from the break line, we can see we get several error messages. It indicates that we have few places that have the just like the comma but from the parentheses, and it will expect the brackets, square brackets, but it gets a parenthesis just like this. And finally we print the JSON object out. So it's basically exactly the same as the input file. So the input file is the, so let's take a look at the input file. So it's called the JSON sample.txt. Oh, here it is. JSON sample JSON.txt. So basically it's the same, exactly the same, but this will be a string, but after we parse it, it will be an object into the linked hash map. So yeah, so this will be the overview of the past week, what I learned and worked on. And hopefully we can improve the debugger more, because we noticed that in the debugger it's hard to tell this part where exactly the code has something happen or something goes wrong. Maybe later we can help, or we can add a kind of like the line number or the to print out some exactly code where it happens. So that will be more helpful to let the developer know where was a problem. So yeah, so this will be all for today's video. So thank you for your time, and until next time, happy coding. Thank you.